So I want to do this very quick video just for people getting started in recruitment. I know I've done videos previously for people wanting to get into recruitment. So I want to do something obviously to touch on a few points that, people starting out, how to actually be successful in it. There's a lot to learn. It's quite quick. You can actually get started quite quickly. Typically about 2 months, you'll pretty much be left to your own devices, and you'll be able to sort of run a desk and profit from that. Hopefully in that time, you should be able to, start billing and get your first load of commission, and then move on to getting your first client. So the first thing you want to do, it depends on what sort of industry you're in. Now, if you're in a sort of industry where there's a lot of jobs and you land in a company and they give you a few positions to work on to start to recruit for, that's very different from going into what we call a cold desk, which means you don't have any jobs and you've got to kind of source clients and actually get them to give you positions to work on and help them actually find candidates for those roles and set up the interviews. So initially, depending on what you start on, I think what you need to look at is, don't a lot of people will tell you, do what the top biller's doing, just copy the most successful person. I would advise not to. I would advise definitely listen to one of your managers, and you have to do it the old-fashioned way. For myself, regarding as semi-experienced in recruitment, I do things a lot of differently than most consultants. And the reason being, I've got system set up. I've got a number of clients I always work with. So it's pretty much like that. 9 times out of 10, I don't actually pick up the phone and talk to any of my clients at times. Reason being is we've already built that relationship. We do everything via email because it's more efficient, and people they're not always by the phone. So I know within some certain clients that I can do that. Other clients, I have to pick up the phone. I have to still build that relationship, get to know each other and how each other works. But that being said, your first month target is to just make a placement. I feel you want to aim for that. Definitely try and get interviews booked up. People will say cheesy slogans like it's a numbers game, but it's not. You want to try and focus on the quality. So you want to act like you're the employer and really drill into finding the right person, and ask the hard questions to candidates as well. That's always very important. Your bosses may sort of pressurize you to, send over this many CVs, and, you'll get to that stage where I can speak to someone and I know if they're going to be there long term. So I send less CVs and I schedule less interviews, but that's just based on experience. So I would definitely home in on, you don't necessarily want to copy what the best person or the highest bidder is doing. You need to do it the old fashioned way. Talk to loads of people. Don't be scared to obviously build a shortlist and give them a call. Number one thing that people, you might think, oh, this person won't want the job or they want a higher salary, but ask them. If they say no, just say, okay, what are you looking for then? So if you call about, a HR position and they say, no, I'm actually looking for this. Oh, fantastic. What is it? So next time I give you a call, I'll run any other position by you. So it's keeping that, you're building your own brand as well. You're getting to know people. Obviously, some people you'll never contact again, some people you will. But with recruitment, that's how it is. On the candidate side, it's up and down. At the moment, there's a shortage of candidates as well. So you're going to be very heavily focused on building a relationship and moving on from there. So with recruitment, it's, a numbers game in a sense, but it's a quality driven market at the moment. The old fashioned way, you might have a boss that will be telling you, you have to make 60 to 80 calls a day. Don't listen to that. You need to make much more than that. You can probably do 60 to 80 in the morning. A lot of salespeople will, very high performing. I'm talking, stockbrokers will make 300 to 500 calls a day. With recruitment, if you can sort of emulate that or do that on certain days, it would definitely work well. Another tip that worked well for me, I don't always stick to it. The average recruiter is interrupted 60 times a day. So I would definitely plan your day. And if you want to be successful in recruitment, bring a packed lunch. Don't go out. You don't have to get in early. You don't have to leave late. but it does help reaching candidates afterwards. So I definitely spend time in a day for administrative tasks. A lot of people say send the CV. I tend to build up my admin at the end of the sort of working day around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then take candidate calls after that, because a lot of people finish work. Scheduling calls is worth its weight in gold. You do not want people calling, you don't want to send an email to 100 people and then have them all calling you. Schedule a call, get an app like Calendly. It's free to use for 30 days, and just automate the whole process. So I tend to build up shortlists. I wouldn't advise this starting off, but I tend to build out shortlists, send big mailers out to people and get them to schedule calls with me. I interview, build a shortlist, and send them over to the employer. As I do with the client side, I build a shortlist of companies I want to work for and approach them in that manner. I don't obviously send out emails to potential employers, but I do poke at it if I can't get through on the phone. Which you have to split your day. So from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, you'll do your admin. After that, you do calls right until lunch. With the applicants that have come through. After lunch, you want to sort of do a bit more on the candidate side. If you've got anything sort of miscellaneous to do, schedule emails, send in, do a bit of admin, and then after lunch, do a bit of business development. So call clients, potential new prospects to deal with. And then after that, you simply want to, look at more candidate side, and then plan your next day as well. It's not just the day you're doing. I can tell you what I'm doing tomorrow. This being evening time, I can tell you what my plan is for tomorrow, and I've probably got something pipelined for the next week as well. So in terms of schedule, it's very much not just a daily plan. It's a weekly plan from there. So recruitment is very rewarding. It's very tough. The average consultant will last in a place for 6 months. And the reason people stick, it's a very tough market, and there's not a lot of good companies looking after their consultants nowadays. It's a real shame. So yeah, if you can get into a good company, that's probably the biggest hurdle you can go through. But if you're a superstar recruiter, it doesn't matter where you work, you will always make money.